Thank you. I've been teaching for the last 29 years, and daily I feel fortunate and humbled to work in a profession in which I experience the beauty and uniqueness of humanity. And in our push toward academic standardization, I'm really worried that we neglect identity development. One of my students in a recent class conversation said it this way: "You know, Amy, we're all so willing to put ourselves into boxes just to have friends." And I said, yes, we all have a deep desire to belong in community and to feel seen and accepted for who we are. In my current work as a teacher-educator, I regularly visit elementary school classrooms. And on my visits, children often ask me a question. And it's a question I've heard again and again throughout my whole life. It's the, "Are you a boy or a girl?" question. Here's an example. My students are working with fifth graders, and they're testing the impact of salt on brine shrimp hatching. And I am moving from table to table, posing questions about experimental variables. And as I approach one table, Zakia asks me a question. "You're a girl?" "Yes, I am." "You're wearing a suit." "Yes, I am." "Girls can wear suits?" "Yes, they can." "I did not know that. That's neat." I really appreciate Zakia's ability to both use and test a binary category system. She put me in the girl box and then confirmed it's okay for girls to wear suits, right? But when I read with skepticism, I think about the many messages that all of us have received about what men and women should wear, and Zakia has already internalized those messages. I'm glad that I gave her authentic answers, but I also worry that I'm complicit in reinforcing a binary conception of gender because I affirmed the category of girl. Here's another example. My students are working with second graders, and we're researching animals and their habitats in Africa. And I'm working with two students, Zach, who's researching black rhinos, and Karen, who's researching zebras. And Karen turns toward her table partner and says, "I don't know if my partner's a boy or a girl." "Well, what do you think I am?" "I think you're a girl, but I don't know why." And Zach chimes in, "She is a girl. Her name is Amy." And Karen repeated, "Her name is Amy." Does that make me a girl? I'm not sure. In this conversation, I think Karen did something absolutely remarkable. She didn't place me into a box, and she continued to interact with me even though she was unsure about my gender identity. And I appreciate that I didn't categorize myself and that I asked her questions so that I could understand her thinking about gender. But I worry that I contributed to her discomfort by not categorizing myself. Sometimes I wonder if I should say, I'm neither. Here's one last example. My student, Monica, is teaching a math lesson, and I'm observing her fourth graders creating graphs. And after the lesson, Monica and I are talking about how the lesson went, and her students are doing their free reading, silent reading time. And Daniel gets up out of his seat, walks across the room, and addresses me. "Are you a girl or a man?" "A girl." "I thought you were a man." "Well, what made you think that?" "Your hair. It's really short hair. It's man's hair." So through my conversations with young children, I have learned how to reframe how I hear the "Are you a boy or a girl?" question. Instead of hearing the hostile statement, "You don't look right," I hear an invitation for conversation about category systems. Categories like boy or girl suggest a binary and uncomplicated sense of identity. And although I have focused on gender identity, in the last year, I have heard young children during math, science, and reading lessons asking their teachers questions such as, "What do you know about drugs?" "Do you go to church?" How'd you get your hair so pretty? Can two boys be married? I hope one day to live in a world where all of us can think and live both inside the boxes and outside the boxes. Inside the boxes, because categories matter, we can use the boxes to systematically identify patterns of difference and disparity. For example, in some parts of the world, if you are categorized into the girl box, you might not have access to primary school education. And in some communities, if you are categorized into the gender non-conforming box, like I am, you are more likely to be bullied. Outside the box, because categories absolutely don't matter, they limit our ability to describe the beauty that makes each of us unique. And no human experience, the incredible beauty of that, is never going to fit into a box. I believe deeply that we need teachers who will willingly enter the relentless and fragile space of conversation where social equality and identity are negotiated again and again. Schools don't just teach academic subjects. They teach us about who we are and who we can become. Every single student question is an invitation and a moment of accountability where we can choose to listen and engage in conversation with openness. Every single one of us in this room is an educator. And it's okay to talk about sameness and difference even when we do not know what to say. We cannot build a language of inclusion if we do not speak. And so I'm here tonight to invite you to enjoy and engage in those conversations. Thank you.